How much protein do you need? I'm Dr. Ted Naiman.
I'm Dr. Greg Naiman.
And welcome to another podcast of What the Health. So, bro, how much protein do you eat?
Me? I need a lot, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I see you got a whole table for it.
Yeah, I'm the at home. They tell me I'm the protein police. Kids will come home and I'm like, they start snacking on stuff. I'm like, whoa! You don't have any protein for us. You can't have that. What are you thinking? So that is my name at home, and it's now gotten to the point where the kids know, like, oh, you got to have your protein first. You can't have carbs before protein. You got to have your protein first.
Yeah, we've lived this our whole lives. And it's funny how, like, in medical school, like, we got like this much training and teaching on what protein is. And in fact, the majority of our lives or in healthcare was always taught to keep the protein to a minimum. It's like to just kind of like a 20-30% of your intake.
Right. No, it's funny how things cycle over time, right? Back in the day, it was all, you got to stay away from high fat meals, and then it went to this, oh, you got to be careful of carbohydrates. But I don't think protein gets its fair shake out there in terms of like, well, how much do you should be taking protein? Like, it's one of those things that not talked about, but it's probably the biggest thing in terms of what we need to do and concentrate on. It's not avoid fats, avoid carbs. It's really, you should be taking in your protein.
And yeah, forever in the healthcare world, just for you guys out there that are listening, we were kind of like trained, and it was engraved in our heads like, oh, too much protein, then it means too much ammonia, and then it causes a load on the kidneys, and especially for the elderly, they want to try to keep it low or whatever. And so these were the things that's what was the training. That was the dogma that we heard in healthcare forever. It was like protein increases the load on the kidneys, ammonia, the negative, as far as the pH and all that stuff. So it's like all these things that like, wow, man, if I wish we could have gone back and learned. But that being said, we're here to set it straight.
Yep. So protein, again, we need our protein. We want to make sure that we are also addressing that. But you brought up some good points. So when we're thinking about protein, it is based off of different individuals. So if you're somebody who's more sedentary, meaning that you're not getting out there, you're not exercising, you're not getting your 180 minutes of cardiovascular exercise per week, you're quote unquote sedentary. If that's you, then you need less protein, right? You're going to need probably closer to 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight. Now, if you're now somebody who is more active, you're an active adult, you're out there, and this is now, again, just for the adult side of things. And if you're an active adult and you're out there, you are getting 180 plus minutes of exercise, and you want to maintain that lean muscle mass or get to that lean muscle mass in the first place, you got to make sure that you're concentrating on your protein. And now you're talking about much higher rates. You're all anywhere from 1.2 all the way up to 2 grams per kilogram of your body weight in protein that you should be taking in per day.
Right. And a lot of times I'll say is, do a gram per pound. Like, It's like one of the things that's
easy,
quickly, like, just do a gram per pound, try to get in that much protein. Then the question is always like, well, what type? That's the other thing too, that people at times will out these days of like, should it be whey, or should it be casein, or should it be some kind of common, it should be hydrosolate, it should be like, is it down as an elemental form,
vegan, or I'm a vegetarian, and I only want to do plant-based. That's all fine. Again, you just want to make sure that you're getting a good mixture of the proteins. Remember, proteins are made of amino acids, and you want to make sure that you're getting all of them in terms of the right level of them. Leucines and your tyrosines and all these things. You want to make sure, unless of course you have a reaction to some of those, you want to make sure that your protein is balanced, and you're going to want to mix it up, right? You're going to want some egg protein. You're going to want some of this casein or whey protein. And there are times where you should have the right protein after or before workouts and things like this. But in general, when we're talking about how much protein, if you're over the age of 65, you're starting to see muscle loss, sarcopenia it's called, you're going to need to increase your protein. So depending on your condition too, and if you do have you mentioned something about kidney conditions and things like this, those things, you want to make sure that, again, you're mindful. You may want to drop down and talk to your provider about that.
Right.
Talk to your provider about that.
Right. So keep in mind, if you've got some kidney issues, if you're at a certain age range and you've got a bunch of other health issues going on, then definitely want to get in and talk with your provider. Otherwise, for the majority of the rest of us, you want to make sure you're getting a good fair amount of protein in your diet, about, again, 1 gram per pound, or 1 to 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram. And you want to also make sure that you're exercising, because the protein intake in itself by itself is not going to get your muscles to all of a sudden start getting stronger or increase in size.
Yep. Love it. So again, for more health tips on these kinds of things and learning more, please follow us. Make sure that you hit the like icon, follow us, subscribe
and all of that stuff. Fun having you here at the podcast of What the Health.